Hello children, Sai Ram. Welcome back to Social Studies class. Children, in our previous session, we had started with chapter number 18, the British Raj and the First War of Independence. So let's continue with the same chapter. But before starting with the new topics, let us quickly have a recall on what we studied in our previous class. Children, several hundred years ago, the Arabs and the Europeans traded with India. Okay, as India was rich and was famous for spices, gold, pearls, and silk, so these were very abundant in India. So the traders, that is Arabs and the Europeans, traded mainly for spices. The first European who found a sea route to India was a Portuguese trader by name Vasco da Gama over 500 years ago. He came from Europe, he went all around Africa and finally landed at Calicut in India. Along with the Arabs and Europeans followed the Dutch traders, the French traders, and finally the English traders. But soon these traders started fighting with each other to get a bigger share. And the British, that is the English traders, defeated all other traders and formed the East India Company for trading with India in the year 1600. The British were not satisfied by only trading with India. So, they also wanted to have a control on India. That is, the British were not content with being more traders in India, so they actually wanted to control the entire India. Okay, so the very smart British, what did they do? They took an advantage of the constant fighting that took place between the kingdoms, and British started gaining control over India. The first stage of the British conquest of India was marked by the Battle of Plassey in the year 1757. And in this battle, the British defeated Sirajuddaula, who was the Nawab of Bengal, and finally gained control and became very powerful in Bengal. Now children, let's see the topics that we are going to cover in our today's session. The rising discontent among the Indians and the revolt of 1857. Children, as the British was gaining control on India, on the other hand, the decisions that the British made were for the benefits of Britain and was harmful for Indian trade and industry. Okay, and this was the reason behind the discontent among the Indians. There was widespread discontent among Indians because of the British rule. The officers of East India Company used very unfair methods to become rich. They forced the Indian farmers to grow cotton and indigo. And here are the images of cotton and indigo. This is cotton and this is indigo crop. Now children, these two crops are not food crops. They are commercial crops. Okay. And these actually provided raw material to the British factories. Okay. These wasn't food crop. These were the commercial crops and provided the raw material to the British factories. And this wasn't good for India. Actually, they were making Indians prepare the raw material so that they could take it back to Britain, and they forced the farmers to grow cotton and indigo, and the British bought these crops, that is raw materials, at very low price. So they took the raw material to Britain, made the milk cloth, and brought it back again to India for selling. See, here is the image. Okay, the milk cloth made in British factories was sold in India at a much cheaper rate and was also of a better quality. And therefore, the Indians started preferring the British goods, and the demand for the Indian goods declined. As Indians were comparing the products with the local products. Okay, that means the Britain products were cheaper and were of better quality than the local products, and therefore the local weavers and the industrialists suffered losses and started becoming poor. And even the traders suffered because of these goods that were coming from Britain. Now, apart from this, the British also made a law which was unfair. That is, if a ruler dies without a child, his kingdom would be taken over by the British. So children, what do you say? Was it a justice done to the Indians? Do you think that it was fair? No. The king and the Nawabs of India became very unhappy because of this British rule. And this led to the revolt, where people forget their differences and fears and started to rise together against the rulers in the year 1857. The first war of Indian independence took place. And because of all this injustice, many Indian farmers, workers, traders, and everybody were angry and dissatisfied with the British rule. So, because of such situations, people came together, got united, and started to fight. And this led to the first revolt, which is also called as the First War of Indian Independence. Okay. Now, just before the revolt, there was tension among the Indian soldiers. Now, what kind of tension, children? Because of the new rifles. Now, this tension was because of new rifles. So, children, why do you think that new rifles create tension? Actually, there was a rumors spread. Okay, there was a rumors spread. In order to load these rifles, they means the soldiers had to bite the end of the rifle cartridges. Okay, and there was a rumor spread that the rifle cartridges were greased with the fat of cows and pigs. Okay, and this made the Hindus and Muslims violent because the Hindus regard cows as sacred, whereas Muslims regard pigs as unclean. So this angered both Hindus and Muslims. On 29th March 1857, Mangal Pandey, here we can see the image, okay, who was an Indian soldier, attacked the British officer near Calcutta. Okay, so when did this happen? On 29th March 1857, an Indian soldier, Mangal Pandey, attacked a British officer at Calcutta. So this angered British a lot. And then on 8th April 1857, the Britishers hanged Mangal Pandey. Here in the image. Okay, the Britishers hanged Mangal Pandey. Mangal Pandey, an Indian soldier who worked for British, and on 10th May 1857, on 10th May 1857, Indian soldiers in Meerut shot down their officers and took control of Meerut. So once this was done, they started marching to Delhi. Okay, and persuaded the last Mughal emperor, Bahadur Shah Zafar. Okay, that means they went to Delhi and requested Bahadur Shah Zafar, who was the last Mughal emperor, to take the lead of the revolt. Okay, so because they needed a leader, these Indian soldiers, who were very unhappy and angry on the Britishers, requested Bahadur Shah to take the lead of the revolt. This revolt spread widely throughout India. Different leaders led the revolt in different parts of India, and some of the prominent leaders are here on the screen. Nana Sahib, Tantia Tope, Rani Lakshmibai, and Liaquat Ali. So these people started coming together to protest against the British. But unfortunately, what happened, children? Unfortunately, the British had far superior weapons and greater military strength than the Indians. And even many Indians supported British. They didn't want British rule to end. So the revolt of 1857 was known as the first war of Indian independence. and it was not successful, but it gave the Indians the awareness of their strength and the confidence that if they unite, then they would definitely be able to push away the British from their land. So, children, this is how people of India started to realize that whatever British are doing is really wrong, and they thought that they should fight for the independence. So with this we come to an end of our chapter. I hope all the concepts are clear. So just let's do a quick recap of all that we studied in this chapter. Okay, and we will also see the Indian people, how they went through in order to fight for the freedom that we are enjoying today. Okay, so children, sentences are on the screen. I want you all to read along with me aloud. Okay. Vasco da Gama was the first European to find a sea route to India. The British formed the East India Company in the year 1600 for trading in India. Point number 3. Taking advantage of the constant fighting between different kingdoms in India, the British started taking control over India. Number 4. The British made unjust laws and used unfair means to get rich at the cost of the Indians. Number 5. This made the Indians angry and dissatisfied with the British rulers. Number 6. The revolt of 1857, or the First War of Independence, was started in Meerut by the sepoys or Indian soldiers serving in the British Army. Number 7. Bahadur Shah Zafar was made the leader of the revolt. Number 8. Nana Sahib, Tantia Tope, Rani Lakshmi Bai and Liaquat Ali were some prominent leaders who led the revolt in different territories. Number 9. The revolt was crushed, but it marked the beginning of the Indian freedom struggle. And point number 10. In 1858, the British took direct control on India. Okay, children? So now, children, we completed with our chapter number 2, chapter number 4, chapter number 5 and chapter number 18. That is, we completed with our 4 chapters. Okay, so go through all the chapters, solve the worksheets as well as the objectives which are at the end of the lessons. Now there is a short project work for you. Yes, so like every year you get a project work for your summer vacation. Similarly, this year also subject wise you will be getting your projects. Okay, so for social studies I am going to explain you about the project in this video, and the topics are our solar system or our earth from the space. 2 topics are given to you. You can solve any one of your choice. Now what you need to do exactly is, collect information and write about our solar system, and also stick or draw pictures. Okay? And you also need to find out the following information of all the planets and write in the tabular form. So let us see this one first. That is, you will see first this one, collect information and write about our solar system and also stick or draw pictures. So first you need to collect the information, that is you need to read the informational book, or else you can find out the information from the Google and jot down the main points in your rough notebook. You can also collect the images, that is by downloading it and taking out the printouts, or else you can draw and color it. So now information is there with you and the images are there along with you. So what you need to do is you have to start with your work. So towards the right side of your page you will write the information. Okay, and towards the left side of the page you will stick the images. So here we will start with the introduction. Our solar system, towards the right side introduction you will write in 8 to 10 sentences, and towards the left side you will stick or draw picture of a sun and 8 planets. Now here for example I have given here, that is number 1, Mercury. Okay, so towards the right side you will write the detail of Mercury planet in 3 to 4 sentences, and towards the left side you will stick the image. Okay, similarly you will follow with all other planets. Now we will see the tabular form. Okay, what you need to do. So here are the details that you need to fill. So first one is serial number, then comes the name of the planet, average distance from the sun, diameter, time to spin on axis, average temperature, number of known moons. So children, on different planets you are going to write the details. Okay, so here I have given the example of Earth. Okay. Now children, here we have our next topic, that is how Earth looks from the space. Okay, and the question is, draw and write about how the Earth appears to be if viewed from the space. Children, here comes the introduction of the Earth. So what are you going to write here? You will be writing about Earth, how it actually was. Okay, that is thousands of years ago. And you will also write the information about people, what they used to think. Okay, they used to think that the Earth is flat in shape, and if they travel for long distance then they may fall off. Okay, so information relevant to Earth, how it was in the past, that you can write it towards the right side, and towards the left side you can stick the images. Okay, now let's proceed further. Okay, later on different astronauts went on the space for the research. Okay, so their views, their opinions, their experiences, you can write it towards the right side. Left side you can stick the pictures, like here I have done, that is of the first Indian female, that is Kalpana Chawla, who went on the space. Then you can also write about space shift or space shuttles. Towards the left side stick the images, and here comes the conclusion, that is the Earth from the space. Okay, here you will write the detail about it. Now children, here comes the practical part, that is where are you going to do the project. Okay, so here are the image of the papers, that is the full-scape papers or the A4 size papers you can use, or you can use also the pages from the diaries. Okay, or your last year notebook pages, you can utilize it. Then take all the pages together, staple it towards the left side along the 3 places, or else you can tie with the satin ribbon or thread, or else you can stick it and make like a small booklet. Once that is done, on the top page, that is on the cover page, you will write your full name, your standard, division and roll number. Now division and roll number you can write it of your previous class, that is of class 4. Then comes the subject, social studies, and then the topic. So topic you have, as you have selected any one, you can write. So children, project must be handwritten. We don't want typed project. So you can use ball pen for writing, or else sketch pens which are dark in color, or else you can also use pencil. So write it in a neat handwriting, leave sufficient space between words, and also leave line after every sentence. So as during the project I explained that towards the left side you will stick or draw the pictures, and towards the right side you will write down the information. Children, this project carries marks, so see that you do it properly. Okay, you may take help of your elders, okay, and you will submit your project once the school reopens. So I hope children that you understood the details of the project, so you will enjoy doing this project, as well as children you will also learn something new. Okay, so a happy and a safe vacation. Do take care of yourself and see you soon. Thank you.